is everyone doing? How was your weekday been? Yeah, I hope everyone is good. I'm well, doing well. This it's a Sunday today. Is it? Oh yeah, it's just sort of gotten into the afternoon. So yeah, how is everyone doing? Like I said, I'm fabulous, and I'm happy to be back here just to sort of catch up with you guys, have a bit of a chit chat and update you guys. And I hope everyone is enjoying the channel so far. Thank you so much for coming here just to take your time to, have a look and listen to what I have to say. I really do appreciate it. If you have a moment, kindly click on the link below and subscribe to my channel. It's a pleasure, and hope that we can grow and build each other and increase each other's knowledge in different aspects. Again, like I said at the beginning of my channel, that here I'd be talking about bits and bobs and sort of not everything really, but I'll try to cover as much as I can, and ways in which I can sort of just help increase people's knowledge, especially people who've just moved into the UK, or people who've been here and they're just trying to sort of find their way, find their spot, and find their jig. Yeah. That being said, today I'll be talking about cultural adjustment, settling into the UK, readjusting to the changes. I think I'm going to make this into a series, so I'll sort of do 2 videos. I'll mostly, my first video like today, I'll talk more to the students who just moved, and then in the other one I'll talk more about the broader aspect, and probably if it's someone, maybe a student or someone who's just moved here looking for work, or moved here for work and they're sort of trying to adjust, and some of the tips into what they can do, what they need to do first in order to enable them to transition smoothly into the UK setup, because it's quite different from usually what's back at our home. Well, I'm talking about my country, and I also know, having interacted and worked with a couple of people as well from other different countries, I know it's quite different, and the transition sometimes can be quite daunting if you don't know what to do and which way to go to, or where to seek help. Yeah, so I'll sort of just give my tips and some information with regards to what I know. Yeah, and I hope that will be as helpful. So on today's video, I'm going to talk about settling, especially for a student, an international student. Reason being, I know how my experience was when I first moved in here, and I'll say even now, because obviously I've moved from a different country. I'll say I moved because we know the UK is made up of 4 countries. So I was previously in England, and now for this course that I'm doing at the moment, I've sort of moved from England into a different country. So it's sort of the same, yeah, but it's of course it's not, I wouldn't compare it to when I first moved in here, because obviously now I sort of know I don't have to make an adjustment really. But yeah, this information will be helpful, especially for like a student who's moved here, and say you've come here and you're like, okay, so what next? There can be so many things that you probably need to adjust with, and today I'm just going to talk about mostly mental health, trying to look after yourself once you've come in here, and there's probably a lot to do, and you realize that maybe things are not as you expected, which sometimes can happen. It's a lot to take in. So just some tips to help you look after yourself and not crash, and because obviously we need to look after each other. So I'm going to talk about stuff to do with mostly, yeah, just mental well-being, health and well-being, which is quite close to my heart since I work in healthcare, and also just because over time I've seen how that is quite significant. And just from a personal perspective, I know before I moved in here, mental health, some of these things are just things that you never really you never gave them so much of a thought. It was just like not really a taboo, but it's something that you never even thought you need to think about. But to be fair, the different aspects, the different cultural aspects, and also just moving into a new country, it's a whole new people, a whole new culture that you need to adjust to. You probably don't have friends here when you've moved, everybody else is at home, and for some people they don't even have family here. So it is quite an adjustment. It's quite a huge change that we mostly underestimate, and it can have quite an impact on us. If you're not careful, it can derail us quite a bit. So I think I'll just give brief tips, especially for a student, as to how you can cope when you first move in here. And then in my next video, I'll sort of do a broader, I'll go into the broader perspective. So I'll talk about the things that you need to do first of all to help you settle in, just to allow a smooth transitioning. Yeah, so that being said, I'll get onto it because of time. And so you're a student, you've moved into the UK, excited, happy days. You've gotten what you wanted. Your visa obviously has come through if you're in the UK now, and then you're meant to be starting your courses. I'll just jump into the school aspect because obviously in my next videos I've said I'll talk into the tips as to the things that you need to apply for the documentation and everything. Yeah, so some of the things that I'll sort of just share what you can do to help you, to prevent you from experiencing aspects of loneliness, or maybe sadness, or maybe just even poor performance just because of the adjustment. Some of the things that I'll first of all tell you probably just to expect. There might be some things that you need to adjust with. Maybe if you're living in London, I'd say maybe especially with transportation, sometimes there can be a lot of delays that can have such a huge impact, especially maybe at home if you were you were used to driving, or it can be quite difficult. The delays, the waiting, sometimes that can be quite disruptive. And you've probably come here, you have no work to start with, you have no friends to start with. It's quite easy to get into isolation and sort of just forget about yourself and forget about what brought you here. So the first thing that I would say, especially for a university student, is to join societies. There are quite a lot of, on that week one, when you land into the UK and you've gone into your university, they'll usually have I think it's like the freshers week. So when you go there, there'll be like a freshers fair, and you'll get to interact with different societies. So do take those leaflets and sign up for those societies. Don't just ignore them. Yeah, join those societies, start linking up with them, because that will be like your starting point, ways in which you can sort of interact with different people and get information. So join those societies. It will be fun and you'll get to enjoy. You'll find that most of the societies, they do arrange a lot of activities, and that will allow you to also interact with people and prevent you from just being by yourself and everything, because you're getting to know people. So make use of those stuff. The other thing that I would say is look for work. So in uni, they will, when you sign up, especially like onto your uni hub, you'll be able to have access to different types of work. And there's also Unitemps. I'll put a link in here, and Unitemps does give you access to different types of work, especially for uni students. Mostly it's part-time jobs that you can sign up for. And again, I'll talk about some of the documentation that you might need for you to be able to apply for some of these jobs. But yeah, sign up for Unitemps, look for what jobs are available. I'm telling you, these are going to be really helpful, especially just to cut down boredom, and it will also give you the stamina. You got something to do on the days when you don't have classes. You have something to look forward to, and also it's a way to meet new people, of course, and to make new friends. So just to sort of get you jump started and to prevent that us from going down that loneliness path. So Unitemps, I think that's usually it, and there are a couple of websites as well. On your uni portal, you'll have quite a lot that will probably give you access to different types of part-time jobs that are available, and volunteering. And even with those societies that you'll join, you'll find that you can ask them if there's any volunteering opportunities that you can be a part of. That's a way for you to interact, just get out there. And especially, I'll say, if you come here, like let's say you come here in September, when it's cold, it's quite easy to get isolated, because man, like, if you, let's say for instance, if you're like me, who came from a hot country in Kenya, and then you just come here and it's cold and it's getting dark at 3 p.m. and you're like, oh my god, the day's over. What am I going to do with my life? So please get involved into those things, so that it just prevents you from being by yourself most of the time, because like we always say, an idle mind, so try to get moving, get doing things. So that's one of the things that I'd advocate for. And if you're struggling as well, if you find that the adjustment is a bit of a struggle, you're even with your communication sometimes, because you can find that maybe with the time difference, getting in touch with family members back at home or friends back at home can be a bit of a struggle. And that's again something that sort of usually leads into us feeling a bit isolated quickly. So do reach out. What I've found is the institutions here, they're quite supportive, especially when it comes to mental health. Guys, do reach out. There's no shame. No one is going to judge you. They're actually going to be quite helpful. They will link you to services. There are a couple of links that they will give, even some of them that you can just access by yourself, to sort of just help you for your mind, your mental well-being. And they can give you some of the tips on to how to integrate into the culture, because sometimes it, like, the culture shock, man, people are quite different. And again, like I said, because obviously we come from different countries, there are things there that sometimes you might see that can just if you're not strong, man, they might make you feel like, oh my god, what is this that I've put myself into? So sometimes you do really need this. So reach out to your uni, reach out to a range of mental health services. I'll put out some links here, even onto things like Silver Cloud, that you can sign up. You can sign up for yourself, and sort of just get some professional help, or not really professional help, but people who just they might provide some tips that will help you adjust if you're feeling low and you're struggling. That being said, we've talked about work, we've talked about seeking help, exercising. This can be quite a struggle for most people. And especially, let's say, in the winter, you've come and it's cold and it's raining, and sometimes the gym can be quite expensive, especially for a student. But try to incorporate some exercise into your lifestyle. We usually underestimate the benefits of it, but it can be quite helpful. Just even if it's just like a 30 minutes walk, try to get yourself out there. Ask a friend, or you can do Zumba in. Not everybody likes Zumba. You can put some some YouTube stuff on your computer or something at home, and just try to exercise a little bit. It's good for your mental health. And then take care of yourself. I know, as a student especially, and sometimes when you're feeling low, it can be quite easy to neglect ourselves, and that does have quite a huge impact. I did realize, I don't know if it's just here, but it does roll over time. If you don't look after yourself, what you're eating, your health, then it does have a huge impact. So please try to cook meals if you can. I'll sort of put some links here on some ways in which you can incorporate some healthy meals, or just cooking your meals, because it can be quite easy, especially for a student, to just get into the habit of maybe takeaways, of neglecting yourself. And I'm not saying that junk food is bad or stuff, but I'm just saying, try to look after yourself, feed yourself with healthy stuff, because a healthy diet plan if you can, because you only have one body. Look after it, and that will always go a long way. It improves your mood, it makes you feel good about yourself, because obviously you're looking after yourself. So please don't neglect those aspects of your lifestyle. And yeah, this is just going to be a short video. That being said, I think, and also sleep, guys, please take care of your sleeping habits. This story of it can be easy when you've just come and you're a student to just get into this habit of probably, like, you know, late night movies, and then tomorrow you wake up and you're like, oh my god. Or maybe going out, like, it's okay, but then just try to also look after yourself in terms of giving yourself enough rest, because again, it does have an impact, it does roll over. So just be mindful of those things. And again, like I said, you've moved into a new country, it's time to explore, make the most of it. Try to interact with as much people as you can. I know there's the cultural aspect, cultural differences. You'll find that sometimes the UK culture, and I don't want to be picked up on this. Sometimes you can find that it's quite different. Maybe the way you are interacting with people at home, you might have come from maybe a place where you know you're like, everybody's bubbly and you can ask for anything everywhere, and here it's a bit different. So just try to sort of learn about the people's culture. You can probably just go into events to help you sort of just integrate, you know, just sort of so you can know how some of the things work here, but also try to join a society, because they always societies, they're like, you'll find African, like Kenyan, like for instance, for me, I'm Kenyan, you'll find like Kenyan society. If there's none, then start your own, you know, because there's always something looking. Every time I talk to someone, like I meet somebody, and I remember when I first came here, every time I'd meet like someone from my country, and I ask them, they'll be like, do you know if there's a Kenyan society? Do you know? And I know, even like for my friends, like my Nigerian friends, and some of the my friends that I know from India, they'll be like, you'll find them asking. So that is something that people are always looking for. So if you realize there's none, you probably ask your uni, there's none, start your own. I'm telling you, there'll be someone who would want to join. And that's because I know there will always be that aspect of wanting to feel at home. It's quite helpful to just talk with people as well, from, you know, who you can relate to. So it's good. So don't ignore those aspects. And yeah, I hope this was helpful. And again, with all the love and kindness, look after yourself, take care of yourself, and enjoy the ride. And again, if you can take a moment to subscribe onto my channel, like this video, and yeah, let's meet in the next video, which will be talking about some of the things that you probably need to do to transition, and some of the documentation. And